So, hello, my dear great people of grace. This is most blessed from your dating and relationship tips channel, welcoming you to another new topic from our channel. Hope you are doing great. All right. So we have a brand new topic for today, and we will be looking at 6 ways why women stays in a toxic relationship. What is a toxic relationship, if I may ask, or if you may ask me? A toxic relationship is one which the woman is never satisfied and is not satisfied in any way. It is like a woman decides just to live with a man or a friend or a boyfriend somehow just because of the fact that she doesn't have any way of moving out of it. A toxic relationship goes from maltreatment to domestic violence. So today we will be looking at 6 ways with which, 6 reasons why women tend to always keep this toxic relationship. So we will be diving straight into it without wasting much of your time. The first reason why I think women decide to keep a toxic relationship is as a result of the fact that what we the people say. In the sense that a woman decides to stay or live with a man who beats her, who doesn't treat her right, because of the fact that she always have that mentality of what will the people say. Who are those people? Friends, family, relatives, and all whatnot. That this woman will always think about anytime she's trying to make a decision on which direction to go, since this relationship is not progressing and it's actually not what she wants to have. All right, so this what people say mentality has destroyed a lot of people's way of thinking, that women no longer have their right sense of mind, right sense, and their mindset is based on this what we people say mentality. They can't come up with a decision on their own without thinking about what someone else that has nothing to do with the relationship, that doesn't live inside that toxic relationship, has to say. So this mentality is what women should try as much as possible to do away with and make decisions that best serve their interests. All right, hope you got that. So let's dive into the second reason why women stay in a toxic relationship. Lack of confidence on themselves. See, women today always depends on men. I'm not saying that most women do, all women do this, but women tends to depend on men in most areas of their life, financially, emotionally, and all that. So what happens in this situation is that women don't have this confidence when they find themselves in these toxic relationships. What they do is, I will take everything as long as it's there for me. It can provide for me. So this self-confidence on how they're going to move ahead when the relationship is finally over is not there. So they will swallow every bullshit to make sure that this relationship holds. But the fact is that because there is no confidence on these people, they will keep themselves in this toxic relationship. And this is not the best place to be in. All right? Hope you got that with the second reason why women stays in a toxic relationship. The third reason why I think women decide to stay in these toxic relationships is, I want the kids to live with their father. I want the father of the kids to stay with them. It's a silly mentality. Ask me why. The reason is because later at the end of the day, when you start telling your kids the story about how their father was maltreating you, believe me, the kids are going to ask you, why did you stay? And this kid you are fighting for or to know their father, or they should stay with their father. I'm not advocating divorce or little things or any little misunderstanding. Women should file in for divorce or separation. But what I'm saying, and if the maltreatment is no longer, it's you can't take it anymore. You know, if it's no longer bearable, there is a need for some decisions to be taken, irrespective whether the children are going to stay with their father or not, because this very fact also damages women's way of thinking, you know, in a very huge form. They will always find any reason to stay in a toxic relationship using their children staying with their father as a reason. I don't support that. If the relationship or the marriage is becoming unbearable, you know what to do. You know the way to the door, and use it. All right? Hope you got it. So let's look at the fourth reason why women tend to stay in a toxic relationship. Societal factor, gender equality. You see, people will always use religion, tradition, culture to tell the women that they should be submissive to their men. I'm not an advocate of that. I believe in both parties being submissive to one another. It's not necessarily the woman whom should be submissive to the man. So if a woman finds herself in a toxic relationship, what normally comes to her head is, I want to remain in this very situation. It has been like this with my parents, my ancestors lived with this, my great grandmother lived like this. So who am I not to tolerate all this? And the society keeps pushing the women to the wall every day, telling them they amount to nothing. They are nothing. They are going to amount to nothing. Their duty is to sit at home and make babies. So at the end of the day, this mentality keeps sinking into women's head, and they think they are less of a human being. So this keeps them in the long run in these toxic relationships. Let's dive into the fifth reason why women keeps a toxic relationship. The fear of having to start all over again. This is very, very important. Women are always afraid, whenever this thought of separation comes into them. A man can just decide to leave a relationship and start another one the next day. But in the women's case, it is quite different. This brings us back to what will the people say mentality. How is she going to start again? How is she going to start a relationship without the people talking, without the people yelling at her, and telling her, oh, when did you end that relationship that you had, and you are jumping into another man again? Judgment from every corner, So women are afraid, on how they are going to start all over again, and it has to do also with the finance. If she has been with a man who has been the breadwinner all these years, and the relationship now has to end, how she's going to get a new job? How is she going to start it all over again? What will be her relationship with the family members of her man? All these questions begin to ring on her head, inside her head, and at the end of the day, she will find it very difficult to come up with a decision. Hope you got that fifth reason. So we will be diving into the sixth reason why women stays in a toxic relationship. Seconds, ladies and gentlemen, please. So I think the sixth reason why women decide to stay in a toxic relationship is because of religion. Religion, coupled with tradition. I made mention of it earlier. Women will always refer to whatever religion they find themselves in as a reason why they should be loyal or submissive to their men. So religion is something that has really eaten deep in most of our society, more especially the black community, Africa as a continent, generally, that religion plays a very huge role on marriages and relationship. Some people, before they do anything, before they make any decision, they have to go and consult their prophet or their spiritual mentor for one advice or the other. So as they keep doing this, sometimes they don't get the real answers, or the real those religious leader or those religious mentor don't know exactly what this person is going through. So they come up with a Bible verse or a traditional parable and try to convince those women to keep this abusive relationship. So you see, today religion and this tradition of a thing has really caused a lot of people never to be themselves. They know their original selves. They can take decisions on their own because of one religion or one priest or one pastor or one prophet or the other. So my dear people of grace, we should be watchful and be careful on how we keep ourselves in toxic environments and relationship or even marriage. Because as time goes on, all those reasons you are looking at why you can't come up with a drastic decision will be something you will be regretting. I don't know, 10 years ago I would have left this relationship. But sometimes it can be too late, but I don't think that there's ever a time that's always too late. If you find a relationship toxic, think about it, pray about it on your own. Don't go to anybody for any special prayer or any special advice. What will be, must be. And as human being, we are born to always live in happiness and not in sorrow and pain, and keep staying in a situation that doesn't help us evolve to the next level. Hope you got it, ladies and gentlemen as well. So until we meet ourselves again on another video like this one, this is Most Blessed from your dating and relationship tips. I want you to stay blessed and do everything, fight for your relationship to be a great one. So until we meet again, this is Most Blessed again from your dating and relationship tips, sending you tons of positive energy. Stay blessed and peace.